of you beautiful followers out there, that being Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So listen, you guys, we have a big month. We have actually a huge month with many new beginnings. Talk about flushing through this very difficult Saturn and Pluto. Okay, we've been hassling with this for several months right now because we felt the oppression coming late in the year of 2019, especially their November, December, as it was approaching and getting very close to January 13th, which was when the bottleneck just flew apart and a lot of things came to the surface. Karmically, it could be work-wise, it could be in your personal relationships, whatever that was, it was a burden now to be released. And as Pluto is transforming that karmic Saturn issue, as we're coming out of January, now February, some of you are listening to the March forecast here in February. Some of you are already feeling that new things are coming on the horizon. Some of you, as far as I understand from the clients I speak with on a day-to-day basis, are still kind of like figuring, working themselves through this mesh, this tightness, which it could be depressing, but it's more oppressive than depressing. It's clearing is what it is, really cutting to the core, and we need to cut to the core. So if you're still listening here on the February end, just pay attention to those issues in your life right now, embrace them, and see them, I'd like to say, as blessings in disguise. Don't cling, whatever you do, don't cling to these old issues. Even though you may not know what new is right around the corner for you, so it's easy to cling to the past. However, it's taking that leap of faith, saying, I'm done with this. I don't need to put up with whatever the situation might be in your own personal chart. However, once this cleanses, this is what we're going to be looking at here towards the end of March. I'm going to get to it, but hey, listen, it's big, it's huge. Why? Because where Saturn was with Pluto, Mars is going to meet up with that Saturn, initiate a new beginning, and you know that Mars are new beginnings, it's goals, it's energy, it's your drive and whatnot, so things can come together for you there. And also, where Saturn was with Pluto, Jupiter is going to come along. And Jupiter, as you know, expands everything, brings beautiful opportunities our way, and Pluto is going to superpower them. More on that later in this reading, okay? But we're just going to go through what we can, in general, from the beginning of March, start feeling, regardless of which sun sign you are. I'm doing a general reading for all of us, right? And so March is really, it's the beginning of spring, at least in the southern parts. You could still have some snow up north and whatnot, but the period of March is always that spring inside of our hearts, inside of our souls. We're coming back alive again, right? And you're going to feel that creativity, which the sign of Pisces is going to superimpose upon your own natal chart. So we also do have Mercury there, and of course the retrograde is there, has been since February 17th and will pass through until March 10th. So of course, as we all know, be careful. Don't go buying new, especially mechanical equipment, technology and so forth, or a new car, anything like that. Why? Because it can go haywire, and then you're going to have to go and return it again and go through all of that hassle. Just lay low with purchases. What Mercury retrograde is good for is going back to the past, all right? So we can actually feel now that we can reassess those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because it is in the sign of Pisces, right? So it's our spiritual sign, and it's the collective unconsciousness. It's maybe revisiting some creative opportunities that were presented a few months ago while you were really busy just hauling ahead, right? Doing what your focus was all about. And opportunities do come and go, and then sometimes we don't really have time to pay attention to it because we're too focused on what we're dealing with in the now. So therefore, retrogrades can be a blessing because now it slows everything down so we can look at it in a different way and then pick it up if we so choose. Another thing, what I love about the retrograde of Mercury is that it brings people from the past back in around that you might not have heard from for a long time, and boom, here they are again, old friends. Pay attention to who's texting you on your Facebook or your social media, right? You might hear from somebody that you've been thinking about but not been in touch with. Sometimes it brings back issues that didn't have closure and where we just left it in the middle of a process and it didn't really have its ending. So this is a good time to close up any such situations and bring it to a beautiful end. And I say a beautiful end because since Mercury's in Pisces, it's all love and encompassing the heart and spirit, right? Where we take that higher road, we see how all the little bits and pieces of information and situations that once were really do tie in, that there is a perfect timing in cosmos to tie all loose ends together. So I'm really, really loving that. One of the best Mercury retrogrades I feel is in the sign of Pisces because it's all about love. And I'm not talking the romantic love necessarily, but all love, spiritual understanding, seeing things from a higher point of view. From this vantage, we forgive, we let go because compassion energy follows along with it. We don't hang on to old resentments to carry on that karma. We absolve and dissolve any kind of negative energy so spirit can feel free and flow. So that is one good thing. Now the sun is getting closer here to Neptune. Of course, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and in your chart, wherever you have this, so bring up your personal chart when we go through this reading and look at where Neptune, the transit of Neptune and the sun is right now, because that depends in which house it shows up, where you will be expressing this energy. But in general, we all, regardless of our sign, will be processing the Sun-Neptune conjunction. So that's around the first week there, and the first week of January. We may feel more in love with nature, in love with the world, in love with our fellow human beings. We can be very creative on this day. The Sun and Neptune. Neptune is extremely creative, so we love when that shows up. And why is that? Well, it is because we turn on our imagination. It's just so open and flowing in such a beautiful way. And the exact date for that will be there March 9th. Okay, so pay attention to where your heart is, where your mind is taking you. You might want to meditate, listen to beautiful music, do your yoga, that kind of thing. Maybe create songs if you're a songwriter or musician. If you're a painter, sculptor, dancer, well, this is the day to take all of this out. Loving that. We also have Venus, the planet of love. It's been cruising through Aries. Wherever Aries is in your own personal chart, that's where it's taking on the action. But Venus in Aries is, think about it, Venus being love, Aries ruled by Mars, which is action, energy, goals, determination, drive, passion, those kind of things. So we've really been looking at what is our passion here in February. If you're listening to the February end of this, yeah, we've been searching for, where do I want to place my energy? Where can I take it all out, right? So it's like you're lining up for that, and what March is going to bring to you when Venus changes signs. Out of this drive, this search, being the conquistador, is to where can I let this act out? Well, moving into 0 degrees Taurus, March 6th. Taurus being very grounded and earthy and practical. You're going to take your vision of what you've been searching for and now expressing it through some kind of 3D, all right? Taking it out here in the world, not just in the mind or in spirit, but we're actually manifesting it down the channels into the physical realm. How can I express this love? How can I express this beauty, this art that I've been looking for? So the whole month of March then will all be about grounding finding roots for the expression of what we love, how we love, where we place our love. That can be in your relationships. We're all going to feel it. I don't care which sun sign you are. We're all going to be doing this in our own way. And then we have Mars. Mars is cruising through Capricorn, also an earth sign. So both Venus and Mars will be very harmonious. Mars being your drive, our drive. And of course, it wants to see end results. Capricorn is always very result oriented at the end of the day. So we're going to be very dynamic this month to see when we get up in the morning, what did we conclude by the time we went to bed? Did we do something special? Did we finalize something special? Did we manifest it? So it's all about manifestation. And now when Venus is there to accompany us with love, joy, happiness in the pursuit of joy, this can be an awesome month. Now, we got a lot of Earth going on here because also skipping over to Jupiter. Jupiter is also cruising in Capricorn. So these two planets will meet up. They're around the 20th of March. And when we have Mars and Jupiter together, hey, that's the key in the door. That door is opening. So if you have, say, for example, been looking for the perfect job where you can go make that next income check, this can come around. Mars will be the primus motor of opening up the generosity of Jupiter, which can bring a lot to the table for you. It's also your vision. Think about Jupiter being that huge planet, the biggest one of all, right? Expanding your horizons. And Mars coming in with his full force, wanting to complete, wanting to show, first and foremost, oneself. You want to show yourself. We all want to show ourselves what we now have achieved and accomplished, especially since we started top of the year. A little difficult, right, with that Pluto-Saturn, but we have transformed that. So Mars is really positioning itself to get into a beautiful place as it touches grounds, kissing Jupiter. They're at the 20th of March. Then pay attention to the following week, which is coming towards the end of the month, because why? We're going to have Jupiter conjunct Pluto. Wow. Now, we know Venus rules money, and it does. The nickels, dimes, quarters, dollar bills, small money. Jupiter represents big money. Think about the size, once again, of Jupiter. Plus, Jupiter is so abundant, right? So we have big money coming with Jupiter, the possibility of. And then Pluto rules mega money. So, this is like jackpot time, guys. Not saying all of you are going to go hit the jackpot, but keep your eyes peeled for opportunities prior to the date coming. If you open your mind, because we know how the law of attraction works, right? We have to visualize it. We have to put the intention out there. Then we have to really believe it. Let it go. Let it do its thing, but really trust and believe that it's going to magnetize to us so it can come. So you got to do your work earlier on. Start here early February if you're listening to it. If you're listening to this starting March, well, beware. Really paint the perfect picture in your mind of what it is you want, because come end of the month, from March 29th, Jupiter is going to be conjunct Pluto. I would suggest go get your charts up, your natal charts with the transits, and pay attention to where these two are going to show up in your personal chart so you can see where you can hit bingo, because, of course, there's 12 different areas of your chart. Now, if it happens on top of everything else to fall into your second house, or maybe even your fifth house for winnings, right? You're even better off than the rest of everyone else, but everybody's going to get some kind of really nice news towards the end of the month. So not only do we have Jupiter and Pluto conjunct, we will also have Mars conjuncting Saturn, okay? So first we said it's going to run by Jupiter, and the two of them are going to kiss. They're on the 20th of March. Then Saturn's going to be moving into where Saturn is. And Saturn is the new karma. It takes 2 years for Mars to go around the chart once, and every 2 years we get a new chance to revive what it is we're doing in our karmic path. But since Saturn was empowered by Pluto. This Saturn is super powerful. Since Mars already kissed with Jupiter, Mars is super powerful. So when Mars and Saturn meets up, they're at the end of the month, March 31st. This is how we're going to start off April. So you definitely do want to listen to the April forecast, okay? Because this is golden keys. We're talking super golden keys. We got a lot going on. We got Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. All of them really trying to bring to us what the universe feels we deserve. So who's going to benefit the most? I will mention some of the signs here. Since these 4 planets, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, are in the sign of Capricorn, you Capricorns have it by conjunction. Okay, so you're super at the tip of the wing, right? And then we have the other earth signs, which is Virgo and Taurus. You guys are going to be getting all of this by a trine, which is beautiful. Conjunctions are powerful for better or worse, put it that way. But trines are always good. This is what you now have cultivated, and it's time to really collect now from that cultivation. It's harvest time. So Virgos and Taurus are super, super lucky here in March. And then we also have who is really going to be challenged by this, and that's those of you who's going to be receiving it as a square, 90 degrees, which is Aries and Libra. When we have powerful planets like this, and it's squaring our sun and whatever else you have in the sign of Libra and Aries, well, you know, challenges don't always have to be stressful. Most times they are, but sometimes they're not. Stress can also just mean that you're super busy, okay? Lots to do. Lots on your desk to complete. You might have challenges where you feel the world is wanting something from you and for you to get it right? So you guys need to kind of look at where that stress is going. And stress sometimes helps us by giving us a kick in the butt to get off what no longer works so we can split away from it and go in a new direction. So that's the good thing about it. That's why we just want to embrace everything that we can, just so that will be better. Then we have the water signs, Pisces and Scorpio by sextile. Yes, they will be also receiving benefits from these new beginnings, new starts. Creatively so from the Pisces end, very deep emotionally from the Scorpio end, but transforming is what it does. You know, so it's fantastic. Those not too touched by these new keys that are opening is Gemini and Leo. That doesn't mean you're not going to feel it. You want to definitely check your chart and see where your planets are, your natal planets, because they can form other types of transits directly to your chart. So you may still get it, but you're not getting it from the overall here general chart. I'm loving this because you're all wanting change, aren't you? You've all been feeling like bursting at the seams, and I know that. I talk to so many of you every day, you know, online, and I can see how some of you already have put that golden key in the lock, starting to open up, and it's all about vision. It's difficult. It's really hard when vision disappears because then we don't know where we're navigating. A lot of you lost your goals. That horizon disappeared, and without the horizon, where the heck are we, right? But it's starting to formulate now, early March. You're going to start seeing it coming. Some of you will see it already there late February. Keep on with it. Hold your intentions extremely clear, and you will see how you're going to be able to harvest here from this month. And this, dear followers, is just the beginning, and I say that. Why? Because this is how the month is going to end here in March. So what does that mean? That also means this is how April is going to start. And April, boys and girls, this is what you really want to listen to next month's forecast. You know, so be sure to share this with your friends, because since it is a general reading, everybody can listen into it. It's not tailored just to particular sun signs. So you can feel free to share this on your social media, Facebooks. Everybody gets a chance to know what is coming up this month so they can prepare too. We want as many as possible to really tune into the energies of where we can lift and rise and ascend. Because when we're thinking collective consciousness, it means all of us together as one. We can powerfully come together and understand what's taking place. I'm thinking, just look at what happened in Australia, right? I mean, it impacts the whole planet. The more of us that get together collectively in what's going on with our planets, the more we can zoom in together with mutual goals that we all focus on, where we can send our energy, where love and healing needs to go to parts of the world, or if it's in our city right now as I'm taping this, we got this new virus that is out and about. And that's a little scary because these viruses can be super, super nasty, right? So maybe together, collectively, we can focus on the healing of it, where we visualize that this virus will be isolated and isolated more and more so it doesn't keep spreading in this day and age of transportation where we all get from one continent to another super quick, right? We want to put an end to that. So this is something we can do together, and this is why I'm also saying share this video, because a part of that Pluto transformation, it's death and rebirth, right? Saturn is hard and harsh, so we're being tested there with that. But we have all this love energy coming in, and love is so many things above and beyond just the plain romantic. It's what we love in our heart. It's our spirits. So if we can connect spiritually, as many people as possible, so we can get this prayer, this beam of light out collectively, that is super powerful. It's the medicine that we need to heal and give love. So listen, this was what we have here now for the month of March 2020. So stay tuned, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to listen to the incredible chart coming up now in April. Have a good one, guys. Much love.